So you might be starting college or university soon, but you have no idea what to expect. Well, let me give you some advice. Hey everyone, if you're watching this video, it's probably because you're starting college soon, or what we like to call here in Canada, university, and you have no idea what to expect. Literally, believe me, nobody tells you what university is actually like until you jump into the water and you start to drown until you learn how to swim. So I thought that here today, I would share with you guys a couple things to look out for when you start university. Let's get straight into it. First things first, let me get this out of the way. University will be hard in the start. It's an entirely new school system than what you were used to for the last 4 years. And for that, it means you need to learn to adapt. When I started university, I had no idea what I was doing. I think I went through maybe 100 different type of note-taking methods because what I was doing in high school simply wasn't cutting it. And on top of that, I had to adapt to a whole new routine because in university, you get to pick your own schedule. It's not fixed for you like it was for the last 4 years of high school. And so you're gonna have to wake up at different times on different days, and you're gonna have to study at different times on different days, and you're gonna have different gaps, and you're gonna have different times to eat, and everything's gonna be different. So you're gonna have to learn to adapt every single day to what you're doing depending on what your schedule is. And everyone takes different time to adapt. Some people you might think are thriving in university because they adapted in the first 3 months. Or you might see people like me who really didn't adapt for the first 2 years. I had no idea what I was doing, and third year everything kicked into gear and everything made sense. But believe me, everything will seem very, very difficult before you've adapted, but once you do adapt, believe me, it's not that bad. It's just regular school by that point. So moving on to another thing that you need to expect going into university, and that's you might consider switching programs. And you might be thinking right now, whoa, there's no way I'm switching programs. I know exactly what it is that I want to do with my life. And no, believe me, I thought so too. But until you're in university and you really experience what your program is like, you might realize that it's not the right fit. My first 2 years of biomedical sciences had me questioning why I ever chose to go into this program. But by the third year, I knew exactly why it is that I chose it. See, the first 2 years were full of mandatory courses that I hated, but I had just had to take them. And that was like organic chemistry, biochemistry, anything chemistry related. But believe me, I just hated the fact that I had to do all that. But by my third year, I realized the importance of all those courses that I took because they gave me the fundamental knowledge to understand the things that I'm studying now. They're the things that I genuinely enjoy, like physiology, metabolism, and other things like that. And I have friends who personally have switched out of their programs first year, second year, even third year. And believe me, that's something that's going to be very, very common amongst people you know in university. Why? Because when you really think about it, you chose your program when you were 16, maybe 17 years old, and it might not be exactly what you expected it to be, and that's totally normal. As long as you're aiming to do what you enjoy, you will be happy. Something else that you should know before getting into university is that friend dynamics will change. And what I mean by that is that this isn't high school anymore. You won't see all those cliques that you normally see where all the football players are friends and all the popular girls are friends. None of that exists in university. Your inner friend group may have been split into a bunch of different programs, and you guys are all studying at different times and have classes at different times, and you might not be able to see each other often, or you might know some people that moved across the country, moved to a different continent to go to school, and so none of those cliques that you saw in high school are going to be relevant anymore. I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm not saying that you won't be friends anymore. I'm still personally friends with everyone I know from high school that are still in my city. But what I am saying though is that if you're like me, your friend group might be split into a bunch of different programs. Maybe biomedical science, engineering, accounting. Everyone's going to be split up doing their own things, studying at their own times, going to classes at their own times, having lunch at their own times. And that means that you're just going to have to learn to adapt and schedule to see your friends versus seeing your friends all day, every day in those circles that you used to in high school. Moving on to another thing that you should look out for in college/university, and that's fake people and gatekeepers. These are the worst types of people, especially if you're in a competitive program, something like pre-med where you know that there's going to be limited spots wherever you're applying in the future. Fake people and gatekeepers are just very insecure students that think that everyone around them is there to take food off of their plate. These students will try to use everyone they can to get to the top and not reciprocate that help out of fear that you might do better than them. That is such an unhealthy way to go about doing things. Believe me, you don't want to be one of these people, and you don't want to associate with any of these people. University is a place to help each other and lift each other. You will not survive unless everyone is reciprocating help to each other. So don't be one of these fake people or gatekeepers that will refuse to give their notes, that will flaunt their achievements in front of other people for the sake of bringing them down. Believe me, hand in hand, everyone will survive as long as you're helping each other. Avoid these fake people. Now, the final thing that I want you to be aware of going into college/university is that time will fly. My first 3 years of university are done. I graduate next year and it feels like I started just yesterday. In university, you're going to be constantly thinking about deadlines. You're going to have a quiz today, a homework due tomorrow, a midterm next week, and you're going to take those one at a time. And by the time you look back, 5 months have gone by and the semester's already over. And so believe me, it's very, very easy to get lost in the grind and lose track of time. So try to embrace every single day. Try to embrace the fact that you're in the middle of the storm, because before you know it, 4 years have gone by, you've graduated, and university is already over before you realize it started. So that's pretty much it. That's just a couple things that I want to share with you guys on what to expect going into college/university. If you enjoyed this video, let me know by dropping a like and leave a comment down below if there's any unanswered expectations that you might want me to reply to. Besides that, thank you so much for watching. Definitely subscribe if you're new here, and always remember to stay focused.